Guys, before I get to the next story, be sure to like the video. It pushes it out in the algorithm. Can't talk today for some reason. So if I sound weird, I apologize. Um, but yeah, like the video. It helps us out. So, all right, guys. Now I'm gonna talk about Trump's orange ass. Yeah, God. This is from the Hindu. I guess this is an Indian-based site. Yeah. It says Trump Putin agreed to begin negotiations on ending Ukraine war. Now, shout out to Mike again. I always shout him out because he does his damn thing. Like trust Trump. Like is Putin actually owned? Like I want to hear from Putin himself, from Russia themselves. Is they actually talking to Trump on ending the war, or Trump saying that to both sides? He's fucking war. And you know what? Before I get to this article, let me get the people that think Trump is anti-war for some reason. Like, how is he anti-war and he gave Israel another weapons package? What Biden gave them a month ago. Like, how is he anti-war? Like, letting Israel annex the West Bank as we know it. Um, and like, I just don't understand that. Like, how can he be anti-war? Trump is not anti-war. What the fuck? Um, oh God. Should I play this video? Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Hell, why not? It's probably just a caption video. Let me see.
Great call, and it lasted for a long time, over an hour this morning. I also had with President Zelensky a very good call after that. And I think we're on the way to getting peace. I think President Putin wants peace, and President Zelensky wants peace, and I want peace. I just want to see people stop getting killed. Once, if it ends, he wants it to end. And that's President Putin said that. He wants it to end.
The Workforce
Okay.
Center staff meet you where you're at. We help students.
Okay. So, but I don't really trust Trump on that, man. But let me get to this article. It says Trump said he and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed during a phone call Wednesday to begin negotiations on ending Ukraine war and would work together very closely towards winding down the conflict. We talked to each other about the strengths of our respective nations and the great benefit that we will someday have in working together, Trump said in a social media post, disclosing details about a call that followed a prisoner swap between two nations. But first, we both agree we want to stop the millions of deaths taking place in the war with Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine. Um, but the thing is this, I thought you said when you get into office, Trump, that you're going to end it. Like you just like it's going to stop. Like, bro, like I don't think Putin ain't gonna listen to you, bro. Unless it's some like maybe concessions. Like Putin is not gonna listen to you. Like you're not a god king, Trump. The fuck? Um, the Republican president said that the leaders also agreed to have our respective team to start negotiations immediately and will be alarming Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky about their conversation. Um, it says White House officials declined to clarify whether Ukraine will be a party to the U.S. negotiation with Russia. The call came on the heels of a prisoner swap in which Russia released American school teacher Mark Fargo of Pennsylvania after more than 3 years of detention on drug charges. Alexander Vinik, a convicted Russian criminal, is being freed as part of the swap that saw Russia's Moscow's release of Fargo, according to people familiar with the deal, who spoke on the condition of immunity to discuss non-public details. Vanik was arrested in 2017 in Greece at the request of the U.S. on cryptocurrency fraud charges and was later extradited to the United States, where he pleaded guilty last year to conspiracy to commit money laundering. He is currently in custody in California, awaiting a transport to return to Russia, the officials said. They said the Kremlin said Wednesday that a Russian citizen was freed in the United States in exchange for Fogel, but refused to identify him until he arrives in Russia. It says Trump welcomed Fogel at the White House on Tuesday evening after his return to the U.S. soil. Fogel, an American history teacher who was deemed wrongfully detained in Russia, was released in what the White House described as a diplomatic thaw that could advance negotiations to end the fighting in Ukraine. Fogel was arrested in August 2021 and was serving a 14-year prison sentence. Um, like, I don't know what Fogel did, but we know that Brittany Griner got arrested because she had I think a weed pen or something. So yeah, whatever Fogel did, like yeah, Russia has very strict rules, especially you a foreigner. It says Steve Woodcock, um, a special envoy for Trump, left Russia with Fogel and took him to the White House where Trump greeted him. Fogel was expected to be reunited with his family. Trump declined to say if he spoke with Putin about Fogel and didn't say what the United States provided in exchange for Fogel's release. Speaking to reporters at the White House on Tuesday, Trump suggested that Fogel's release could help anchor a peace deal on Ukraine, saying, "We were treated very nicely by Russia. Actually, I hope that's the beginning of a relationship where we can end that war." The Kremlin was more cautious, but it also noted the deal could help strengthen the mutual trust. Yeah, it's a good thing that that teacher got released from Russia, but again, it's like that doesn't mean the war will end, Trump. The war started. Ukraine, like, like NATO want to push Ukraine borders to Russia. Like that's how it started. Like then you hear Trump saying he's not that keen on NATO either, which yeah, but let me continue. It says Putin invited Trump to Moscow because Ukraine Kremlin it says meanwhile the Kremlin said that Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump agreed to meet in the future, and Mr. Putin invited Trump to Moscow. Mr. Putin last spoke to a sitting U.S. president in February 2022 when he had a call with Joe Biden shortly before ordering thousands of troops into Ukraine. It says Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump discussed the Middle East, bilateral relations, Ukraine, and a prisoner exchange between Washington and Moscow state news agency TASS reported. It says the Russian president invited the U.S. president to visit Moscow to express his readiness to receive American officials in Russia in those areas of mutual trust, including, of course, the topic of the Ukrainian settlement. Mr. Peskov said Putin and Trump also agreed to continue personal contacts, including arranging a face-to-face meeting. It says Trump has reportedly said he wants to end the war and that he will meet Mr. Putin to discuss it, although the date and venue for a summit is still public unknown. So yeah, okay. So it said Putin admit the Kremlin said that Putin wants to meet with Trump. So I was about to say, you know, like Trump is a habitual liar, and anything Trump says, you gotta take this shit with a grain of salt. I mean, should a war end? Obviously, like I'm anti-war. Like it shouldn't be war to fucking begin with. But again, it's like same thing with Hamas and Israel. Like you keep pushing a motherfucker, eventually they're gonna retaliate. Like a bully. Like you keep, pushing back at them. You pushing back at them, and then I don't know what the hell I'm just talking about. But what eventually the person gonna do to that bully? They're gonna retaliate. So, all right, guys, on to the next.